Right, finally we got some good weather, so I'm out in the garden. I'm going to give just a very light clean of this engine, and all I've got at the moment, this is just soapy water. I used can you hear next door got chickens, can you hear it? I used a degreaser on an old one some time ago. I'm not sure how effective this soapy water is going to be, but I know it won't be bad. I haven't oiled anything yet. I'm just giving everything a clean down. But I used just this sort of general degreaser a few months ago on another engine, and on one of my other engines, and it affected the paint on the lines, and I didn't like it at all. I wasn't very happy, and this is probably one of my best ever engines. I didn't want to take any chances, so all I'm doing is using just soapy water, just washing liquid, diluted down, and I'm going to see how much this actually gets off. Then I'll rinse it with some fresh water, and this is going to be the least. Look at that, see, there's someone's not even done up them nuts, because that turns round. It's so loose, it's not affecting the crank, it's because it's not even tight. But later on I'll be oiling everything. So I wanted to get off as much dirt as I could. I mean, this might not get as much off as I want, but at least I'll be able to see the stubborn areas, and I know I haven't used any chemicals. If this was a much cheaper machine or something I was going to do some painting on, then I'd probably use you know, these spray ones you get on the supermarket shelves for cleaning down motorbikes or something. It says bug shifter or that sort of thing. I'll probably use something like that, I think, but they're a bit more vicious, and it's definitely not the machine to be doing that on. This is genuinely is an antique now, and I've got to treat it like one. Yeah, so it's just a gentle clean, and then I'll see what it's come up like. But to be honest, it don't look like it's doing much. I can see it's quite warm today, and see some of it's drying as I'm doing it. It's only a soft brush as well, and as it's drying, it don't look like it's doing too much. Now, I've just, while I was putting the hot water in by the sink, I looked at what the wife's got for cleaning. She's got a product there. It says eco-friendly detergent, and it's made with lemongrass, and it says mild detergent. So, and it's got some ingredients, and they're all plant-based ingredients. So if this don't work, I might have to go eco and try a bit of that. But what I'd probably do, I'd try a bit on another machine and see what it does, because I definitely don't want it affecting this paint. Paint's in good condition, that's unusual. So for me, I'm in the UK. These sort of machines don't normally come up for sale in the UK. You know, I do see them on eBay in Germany, but they just don't come up in the UK. You know, I have bought some items from Germany before, but to be honest, by the time we pay the import taxes, it ends up being really expensive. In fact, one item I bought ended up nearly twice the price that I paid for it by the time I paid shipping, taxes and all the rest of it, and it wasn't cost effective. But yeah, so this don't look like it's doing too much. We'll work it in a bit more. It looks like it's done a good job on the base, so it looks like it's doing what I want on the painted parts. That's got to come off actually, it's bent. We've got to straighten that. The base looks like it's come up okay. I've got to treat this with a bit of respect. Yeah, so it's going to need, oh, but that's brass. I can get that knock off with a bit of brass cleaner. But this is just a clean down video, guys, because once I've cleaned this down, I'll have to go off, get some fresh water and rinse it down. Now it's nice and warm today, so once I've rinsed this down with some fresh water, it will dry quick. It's 30 degrees C today, which is I wouldn't say it's unusual in the UK, but you know, this is about as good as it gets. And you know, we are in July, so yeah. Once then I'll let it dry. And once I've let it dry, then I'll start going through with some oil, because I haven't even attempted to free it up yet. I wanted to give it a clean down and see where we are. I think it's a 19. I think when I looked online yesterday after I done my first video, it said they're made in 1930. In that door there's a casting. It says Doe & Co. It says D.O. & Co. 26. I'm just wondering if that 26 actually means 1926. They probably made them for a few years. On another website I found that, I know Dole did do some more big twin cylinder engines like this, but on that particular website it said this is the biggest one they did. So I'm not 100% sure that's correct, but that's what I read. Anyway, that's the end of the got to get fresh water now, and then I'm going to go over it. So I'll switch the camera off for now and rinse it down, and then I'll come back when I've got it cleaned and I've started oiling. Well, minor improvement, but I wouldn't say it's had the effect I'd have liked. Still not great. You can see there as muck's come off. You can see some old paint damage in here, but it's not got all this muck off. This was just soapy water, so this was phase 1. But I know I can go a little bit stronger on it because that's just tar on there. I'm not worried about the metal work. It's the paint work I'm worried about. But yeah, I think it's a bit better. I'm going to take it off in a minute. That's coming off now. I'm going to give it a quick clean down. Yeah, definitely a bit better, but not as good as I want it. So I'm going to give it an oil now, see if I can get it moving. I mean, this is bent, but I don't think that's a difficult task to straighten that out. Just take it off, reposition it. But yeah, you can see the plating went a long time ago. Looks like there was a little line on there. But the plating's well gone. Wouldn't be able to do nothing with that. Anyway, I'm going to oil it now and see how we get on. That'll have to soak as well. So I'm back shortly. Well, how about that? How about that? She's come up really lovely now. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. That muck has come off. And the blue, you can see the blue now. Look at that. You've got rust on here. I'm gonna have to give that a going over, but so far so good. Look at that. She looks like new. I mean, you can see chips of paint off here and there. You're always going to get that. But overall, I think the condition of this now is lovely. The glass got steamed up, but that glass comes off with 2 little screws, clean inside. It's got water's got in there. These are still well gummed up. I'm going to have to need something to eat. There's really, that's thick grease, and it would be because these were obviously oiled a lot around this area. So I'm going to put a cloth under there, so nothing gets on the paint, and probably use something a bit more like a spirit to get that off, to get this really bad tar off. But paintwork wise, look at that. Look at it. Really pleased. Really pleased. So everywhere it's been oiled, there's tar. But that's just patience. Just patience. It's still seized. I put a little bit of oil in, but I'm going to keep going with the oil, and I think the main thing is let it soak. I'm going to spray some WD-40 in there. Spray some WD-40 in there. But, I'm really pleased how that condition's come up now. What a beauty. What a beauty. Yeah, you can see the blue. That's the main thing. You can see the blue back. Before you couldn't see that. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. We're doing some oiling later, and then I'll just let it soak. So, but for now, I think we've had a result. Cheers, guys. Right, I'm just going to add this on to the end. So I've brought her in. She's been cleaned up, and now she's still very seized. So I've got this WD-40 penetrating fluid. I've had the end caps off, and them ends now are full up with that penetrating fluid to try and free them pistons up. So I think that will do it. These are free. They're free. So the seized up bit is the pistons, without taking everything apart. I thought I'd just try and free it up with penetrating fluid. Yeah, so I just took the end cups off, and I'll leave that like that now, because I want that to soak in. It's all tied up. I should imagine the inside there, it's something like this, tied up, and it'll need a little bit of time to break that down. So I'm not going to do any much. I've done a bit on it today, no more today. It's just to leave it overnight to soak. I don't think this has had a lot of use. The reason I say that is because I had a few models now, and these are nice and firm. They're not loose, they're not tight. Now, when they've been well worn, I know this is bits of it have been seized up, but everything works. Everything works. These, but they're firm. They're not sloppy. A lot of them, they're sloppy. So I don't think this has had a lot of use. And like I said before, there's no play on that. No play. Compared to what I've seen before, there's no play on them big ends. So I don't think it's had that much use. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. I've given her a good clean, soapy water, and dried her down. I've used several microfiber cloths with little tiny implements to try and get in the corners, making sure they don't scratch anything. But yeah, you can see it's chipped about a bit here, but overall I've got it facing this way. Overall it's in good condition. I've got it facing this way now, so I think at one point someone has done a little bit of painting, because this copper trim on the corners around the other side, it's got a little bit of paint on it. So I think someone has done a little bit of touching up here and there, but you know, these are nearly 100 years old. So someone might have touched it up, but I don't think there's much been done to this. I don't think there's been much been done to this. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have these the crankshaft all turning over. And you know what happens if the crankshaft turns over? There's water going in. Cheers, guys. Catch you later.